I don't know how more people aren't talking about this. There are actual reports and investigations that are going on right now that are looking into what is in some of these baby products. And honestly, what they're finding is pretty damn scary, man. I'm talking about shit like heavy metals, microplastics, PFAS. They call them the forever chemicals, right? Because they're supposedly in your body forever. And this isn't just random people that are saying this crap online either. There have been actual government reports and studies that have found things like arsenic, lead, cadmium, in certain baby foods. It's crazy, man, because when you think about who these products are for, it's insane. We're talking about babies here. So I went around and I found a bunch of clips talking about all this stuff. And instead of just taking it at face value, we're going to go through them together and figure out what is actually real here and what's being blown out of proportion. Let's go ahead and check out these videos together.
Your baby may be sleeping on a cloud of toxic chemicals. According to scientists from the University of Texas, if you're using a crib mattress made with these two materials, they definitely are. The study found that these crib materials are emitting significant levels of volatile organic compounds, or VOCs, that are likely causing at least some respiratory irritation to your baby at a minimum. And it gets worse. These aren't just any VOCs. We're talking super nasty child developmental disruptors, like phenol and 2-ethyl hexonic acid that are off-gassing while your baby is sleeping. And babies, they sleep a lot. At least you hope so. So where are these hidden toxins coming from? From a cheap layer of polyurethane or polyester foam used in many mattresses. And the toxin risk in these cribs don't end there. Mattresses have other toxic chemicals at play here, like flame retardants linked to cancer, hormone disruption, and immune system damage, like PVC or vinyl covers that can damage developing reproductive systems. So what do? The best option is to use mattresses made from 100% natural or organic latex. And look for certifications like GOTS, CertiPure, and GreenGuard Gold.
So I saw a post about Gerber having metals in their baby food. So
it's
I
right
go
there.
and pull out my daughter's cereal.
Is there actual metal in baby's food? This guy is going to find out. He's taking baby's cereal, putting a magnet to it, and look, he's pulling out metal directly from the cereal. So this is iron, and babies need so much iron that companies are literally putting elemental iron inside of their food. Now, these iron particles are actually so small, it's no issue on the stomach whatsoever. Babies need the iron. The biggest issue with these fortified foods is that the iron from these foods is absorbed at only 2% rate. This is in comparison to 35% absorption rate for iron that comes from animal sources.
I don't even know how to preface this. Every parent needs to see this. A lawsuit has been filed against the company Bumpkins that sells these Superman and Batman baby bibs because they say they have PFAS. It's fucking terrible. Throw these away. Share this with your friends and family to throw them away. So if you look on like the Amazon listing, and these are sold on Amazon, they say that they're 100% polyester. It says that they are a thermoplastic polyurethane that is made in China. Thermoplastics are a type of really flexible plastic. It's the kind that's used in your Apple Watch sports band. Those also have PFAS. And it's this specific type of plastic that now, this will be the second product that I've seen show up with PFAS. PFAS are that toxic forever chemical. They build up in your brain and your body with every little bit that you ingest. And our government, as well as pretty much every government in the world, has now acknowledged that there is no safe level of PFAS in our water and in our products. And especially for children, because when children are exposed to this, it can have lifelong impacts. Suppressed immune response. Your child will get far sicker, far more frequently, and not recover. That's some scary shit, y'all, because children get sick all the fucking time, and it's not like they're just going to bounce back. It can also set them up for dealing with hormonal issues their entire life, of which it's included precocious puberty, which is a huge issue, hypothyroidism, like I have, other neurodevelopmental issues, or OIQ, suppressed immune response, infertility, diabetes, obesity. And the problem is that when children are exposed, it can have lifelong impacts. You might never be able to fix it, right? I have hypothyroidism. I will have that for the rest of my life. It's not going away, right? No one else in my family has it. This is scary, right? Right now, there is no requirement for children's products to be tested for PFAS prior to being sold. It is not allowed, but it's not a requirement. There's many terrible things that are not allowed in kids' products, but it's also not a requirement for them to be tested prior to being sold. Wow. Just letting you know, this is going to be the first of many lawsuits that we will see with our consumer products. Suddenly we're going to discover that they have PFAS in them, and it's because of the laws that are going into place and that people are standing up and filing against these companies.
I've debated whether or not I want to share what I'm about to say for a while because I don't know what constitutes as defamation and I have no scientific proof that this is what actually happened. However, what I do have is my experience and observations as a mother and what I believe to be the truth. And I believe that I have a responsibility to tell others because if it is true, then it will help other babies. At 4 months old, my son's pediatrician said that we could start introducing purees to him. She then said after he got used to the texture of the purees, we could start thickening it with baby cereal if we wanted to. This is the baby cereal I went with, this Gerber Grow and Grain Oatmeal.
Gerber?
I started this cereal with him around 5 months old. It was also around this time I started noticing some significant negative changes in my baby. Anyone who met my baby described him as the happiest and most talkative baby they'd ever met. He was always laughing, always smiling, always cooing, always mimicking people. He made great eye contact. He definitely was behind in motor skills and development, but he could at least hold his head up when he was on his belly. And he had the foundation he needed to start making progress in other motor skills. He also visually tracked toys, grabbed at them, and played with them appropriately for his age. And then he lost every single one of those skills around 5.5 months old.
Oh, no.
Every single one. You can see some evidence of it in the video that I stitched from. I was going to show you other clips that I have in my camera roll to show you his regressions, but because I stitched a video, I can't use green screen video to add them to this one. I saw my baby go from a happy, healthy, social, developing baby to losing all of his skills almost like that, with no explanation or reasoning. And then shortly after I made the video that I stitched from, I made a video where I was making his morning cereal and I was using that Gerber oatmeal. And then someone commented on that video and said, hey, are you aware that Gerber has had lawsuits in the past for high levels of heavy metals in their cereals?
Read your
Which
comments.
I didn't know, so I ran to Google to research. And while this specific cereal has never been included in a lawsuit, their rice cereal has. But considering these two cereals are probably manufactured in the same plant and they're obviously by the same company, I wouldn't say it's out of this world to think that this oatmeal could be affected by heavy metals as well. So then I researched what the effects of heavy metals can have on infants specifically. And almost every single one of the issues my son was experiencing can be a result of heavy metal toxins in the body. So I immediately stopped the use of this Gerber oatmeal and I just started using regular oats that I was grinding myself to make the oatmeal to mix into his purees. Since I was also using Gerber purees and I no longer trusted this company, I also started home making all of his purees from fresh fruits and vegetables. Within a week, almost all of his regressions reversed. The spells of him staring off into space that we couldn't pull him out of, which is why we had him evaluated for seizures, stopped. His laugh and his smile came back. He started making eye contact again. We're still struggling with some of the motor skills, but that's because he also has low muscle tone in his upper body. But he's getting there. It's like every light I saw go off in him came back on. Again, I'm not saying this oatmeal for sure is the cause, but the correlation between when I started the cereal and when his issues started sure is damning. And when I stopped his cereals, I never dreamed that it would actually work in reversing his regression. So I threw it out, and now I wish I hadn't. I wish that I would have taken my son to his pediatrician to get a heavy metals test both before and after I stopped the cereal. And I wish I would have gotten the cereal tested. Because if I had scientific proof that that's what happened to my son, I would be a nightmare for Gerber. And shame on you, Gerber. Maybe not for this cereal specifically because, again, I don't have proof of it. But there is proof of high levels of heavy metals in your other products. Products that you make to nourish babies' bodies. Products that I also believe wholeheartedly caused harm to my child. So how dare you? Do better. For the rest of you, please do with this information what you will, and maybe use caution before you buy Gerber products.
Holistic pediatrician
Google shit first.
Why children should not be touching receipts.
Oh, the receipts too?
Are coated with
I heard about this one.
Called BPA, which is bisphenol A, and it's used to make them print without ink. Receipts contain 250 to 1,000 times more BPA than cans.
Oh my God.
It's a forever chemical that sticks in our bodies and never breaks down. BPA is known to interfere with hormone development.
Don't take the receipt.
Children. It is linked
and they say
to
you want your receipt.
puberty,
Hell no, I don't want that
ADHD,
receipt.
And immune system dysfunction. When kids handle receipts, the BPA is absorbed through the skin. Children's bodies are very susceptible to chemicals in the environment. Even a small exposure can be harmful to children. There's so many toxins and pollutants in our environment. Our children are sicker than ever before. There's just simply no reason for our children to handle receipts and expose them to BPA. When a receipt is offered, take a photo of the receipt and put it in your phone. or use Expensify, which sorts all your receipts right there and then, and you don't have to do any bookkeeping.
Yeah.
So next time you get a receipt, just remember, it's not just paper. It's paper coated with chemicals that could lead to harmful effects in your children's bodies.
Don't be one of those
do not
people
let your
that
kids
have 1,000
eat off of these kinds of plates. These plates are like super toxic and you need to avoid them. I'm going to tell you why this is one thing that definitely needs to be avoided with your kids, but I'm also going to tell you some really good options to use instead of these. Hey, I'm Beatrice, I'm the anti-plastic lady. I own a company called Tabor Place, and keeping kids safe from like toxic chemicals and plastic is my whole deal. A lot of the times you'll see it'll say like wheat straw plastic or like bamboo. Whenever there's like a plant-based plastic or wheat straw plastic, they're just getting some plant material like wheat or bamboo, making them, turning that into a powder, and then mixing that with like a melamine resin. Unfortunately, plant-based materials in plastics are actually known to accelerate the degradation of certain polymers. The toxic chemicals from these sorts of plastics migrate at higher rates into food than regular plastic. So literally, plant-based plastics are worse for you than regular plastic. And regular plastic is toxic as shit. These are fucking worse. The melamine is one of the worst kinds of plastic that you can have, a suspected carcinogen. It's been known for a really, really long time. So there have been many studies that show this, but there was another recent one. And basically what they did, they purchased 11 different brands of melamine, bamboo, wheat, straw, tableware. So 24 bowls, 22 cups. All of them were from different places in China. And I can guarantee you, every single one of these wheat straw plates that's on Amazon was made in China and is the same as these. And the products were so toxic that the melamine migration exceeded China's safety level of concern. Not even just the EU's, which is much stricter, but China. And China traditionally does not have very strict laws when it comes to toxic chemicals. So the fact that it's exceeding China's like toxicological like safety levels is really bad. Yeah. And so what's messed up is when the migration results were combined with potential exposure levels for 1-year-old infants, these researchers found that 100% of the bamboo melamine products led to overexposure to melamine. Okay? 100%. So anything that says that it's like bamboo fiber, like stay the fuck away from it. And so like one of the things that's really bad about melamine is that it shows that it can actually bioaccumulate, right? Similar to PFAS. Currently, it doesn't show that it stays in our bodies as long as PFAS, and certainly it's not as ubiquitous in the environment, but it's really bad. So it disrupts your endocrine system, which is the hormones in your body. It is carcinogenic and it bioaccumulates. It builds up, which is where you get kidney stones from, right? Melamine in particular, it can say like that it's BPA free, but again, that doesn't mean shit because it is toxic with lots of other stuff. All plastic is toxic. All plastic has both the chemical additives that come in a plastic as well as microplastics. Both of those are risks to human health, okay? In regular everyday plastics, there's over 400 that are known to be toxic to human health. Melamine is one of the worst plastics. The authors recommended avoiding the use of these materials. Like literally, they say don't use these materials at all. Okay. And then as a reminder, there are some really awesome options out there for plates for children that are not breakable. I love Ahimsa. Wooden plates are really wonderful. Wood. Again, you want to go for like a whole wood. You don't want to go for a wood fiber, certainly. So do not let your kids eat off.
First, can the FDA require a review of baby lotion for safety before it comes to market?
Baby lotion too.
Can the FDA require the manufacturer not to use a toxic ingredient, for example, formaldehyde, in its baby lotion?
No.
Is the manufacturer required to register with the FDA before selling its baby lotion?
No.
So I think my first statement is becoming truer. Once the baby lotion comes to market, can the FDA require safety information about the baby lotion?
No.
If the baby lotion has caused bad reactions in the babies, can the FDA require a recall?
No.
What do we have the FDA for?
If the manufacturer is aware of the baby's bad reactions, would the manufacturer be required to report that to the FDA?
No.
Come on.
Well, I think everybody's paying rapt attention here. In our country today, could cosmetic products for sale to use on children or infants with unknown ingredients and no safety review?
Dioxins are the most toxic chemical known to science, and yet we have them in our baby diapers.
only are there known carcinogens in our baby diapers, we have so many other chemicals.
Please tell me this isn't true. Not in the diapers.
Compounds are also in our baby diapers, and you want to know what they cause? Do you want to know what the side effects to those are? Liver, kidney, and central nervous system damage.
Oh my God.
Chemicals that they use on the outer lining of the diapers actually causes reproductive and endocrine issues. Know that when it says fragrance, it can have over 4,000 different chemicals, and all they have to put on there is fragrance, and it is passed by the FDA and every other organization. They don't have to go in there and be very specific as to what the fragrance is and what chemicals are in those fragrances. TBT is known as a PVC heat stabilizer, and yet this is in our baby's diapers as well, and it is known to be extremely dangerous to our aquatic life that's inside of our diapers. As a medical interpreter, I've had to go in and interpret for so many families who've had children under the age of 3 who were literally dying from cancer. Under the age of 3. It's not okay. We need more regulations. We need more regulations. We need help in this.
What's in here? More lead? More mercury? A little bit of PFAS?
Turn it around. Yeah, so you can see what it is.
What the fuck is that?
Yeah,
I'm gonna throw up.
It's avocados.
Oh, it's an avocado.
Yeah.
I don't know. What is it?
Sick.
Or maybe not.
What the fuck is that?
Can't even look at that.
Wash it off.
What is that? What the fuck is that? My baby ate some of that.
What the fuck?
What is that?
I don't know.
You know, watching these clips, it took me back to all the times where I gave my children things and not even thinking about it. Like, for instance, for example, when my kids were teething, right? My kids were teething, they got slobber coming all down their mouth. And the first thing I thought was, okay, I got to give them some type of teething toy. So I went straight to Walmart and bought them these little circular plastic round teething toys where you put them in the freezer and then they put them in their mouth. And now that I'm thinking about it, it's like, how many chemicals did I give my kids and not even know I was giving them to them? You know what I'm saying? Those teething toys, they gotta be filled with something. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure them motherfuckers came from China too, bro. And then you add the teething toys with the plates, the spoons, the forks. Everything's plastic. The baby bottles. There is so much. I could have made this video an hour long, bro, now that I think about it. As a matter of fact, I'm going to come out with a part 2 because this kind of shit needs to be exposed, man. You know, I was exposing a lot of this kind of stuff on TikTok, and I got banned, of course. 100,000 followers gone down the drain. Poof! Again, 3rd time in a row. They keep banning me on TikTok, so yeah. I'm on YouTube. We'll see how it goes. You know, I'm gonna keep doing my thing on here, but it is just mind-blowing, man. You know, that there's tons of lawsuits going on, but we need more than lawsuits. We need this shit to stop, bro. Straight up. This is affecting our kids. Autism is through the roof. ADHD is through the roof. And I'm not going to sit here and say it's because of this or that. But it's got to have something to do with it, right? Maybe just a little bit. Who knows? I'm not no fucking doctor or nothing like that. But the stats don't lie, bro. The stats don't lie. Something's going on here. Let me know what you guys think. Hit that like button if you're still here, if you're still watching the video. Hit the subscribe button if you want to see part 2. I'm going to be dropping a lot more content. Like I said, I just got banned from TikTok. So I'm going to be back on this platform exposing shit. Do me a favor, hit that like button at least if you don't subscribe to the channel. I'm going to catch you guys on the next video. Peace.